Alrighty, yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94, back with another reaction video. Today we're finna react every 90s Cartoon Network joke that kids miss, cleanest to dirtiest. Hey man, we did Nickelodeon, we're gonna do Cartoon Network. We're doing the 90s Cartoon Network because this was when Cartoon Network was really in a bag. Well, I wouldn't say it was in a bag, but they was in a prime. So yeah, it's gonna be more adult themed jokes and sexual endos that you probably missed as a kid. Obviously, because you ain't know shit about sex. But anyway, so without further ado, let's get right into it.
Why don't you come sit on the sofa while I slip into something more comfortable?
That's pretty obvious.
Alright, we've talked about 90s Nicktoons and their mature jokes already, so it's only fair to give you Cartoon Network fans the same treatment. There are plenty of differences between these two networks, but the most notable for today's purpose is that while Nickelodeon's 90s cartoons have always been more outwardly clean and tidy, Cartoon Network made way less of an effort to hide just how raunchy things could get.
Yes.
From self-proclaimed womanizers to casual reality, things are about to get wild. I'm Keefe Nossi with Wicked Binge, and today we're talking about 90s Cartoon Network adult jokes, cleanest to dirtiest. Let's get started with one of the world's finest illustrations of the term girl power. The Powerpuff Girls, the horror. In a cheeky reference to the movie Apocalypse Now, Blossom tells a little boy who ate 47 broccoli during their rebellion to
Stay down, soldier. You've seen enough action.
There are some other innocent pop culture references in the show too, like Boogie Nights and the Death Star, a Star Wars reference for one example. Dick Hardley. But getting started on the dirtier ones, the professor's old college roommate was named Dick Hardley. We'd usually say we feel for him becoming a villain with a name like that, but he's gonna show up again later, and you'll see why we don't really have any sympathy to spare for him. Flipping the Roach. In one scene, Roach Coach falls off of a building, and his twitching robot hand inadvertently flips the Powerpuff Girls off. Or was it intentional? Daddy. In one of the classroom scenes, a drawing of an angry man holding a bottle can be seen on the wall labeled Daddy, clearly some poor kid's alcoholic father. I hope they're okay. From what angle? The Powerpuff Girls are having a hard time against the Rowdy Rough Boys, so Miss Bellum gives them some advice to use the right angle to defeat them.
What?
Of course, them being little kids, she only means they should try being nice, but given Bellum's assets, I think we all know what her angle would be. Too big to handle. Speaking of the Rowdy Rough Boys, it turns out Miss Bellum was right. The key to defeating them was kisses.
Whenever their masculinity is threatened, they shrink in size.
Bob's Septic World. In one scene, a vehicle for a company called Bob's Septic World is visible with the catchy slogan, "We're full of it." Given the very dirty nature of septic tanks in general, yeah, I'm sure you are full of it, Bob's Septic World. Blossom's Cerebellum cosplay. Surprising nobody at all, Miss Bellum will be appearing a lot in this video. For example, there's the time Blossom cosplayed as her by shoving some stuffed animals in her shirt. Side note, Bubbles using her ponytails to make the mayor's mustache is peak character design. Another cosplay? First Miss Bellum, now Cartman from South Park? Blossom should start cosplaying more often, she's pretty talented at it. Surprising developments. In one commercial for the series, Wonder Woman proudly tells the Powerpuff Girls that they're developing into great heroes.
Someday we'll be as developed as you.
Squirrels eat nuts, stupid. The girls get into an argument about whether a little squirrel they found is a boy or a girl. Apparently part of the debate was what they were eating.
How do you know it's a boy? Squirrels eat nuts, stupid.
And considering the nuts choice of words, I think Buttercup's recommendation of Bruce is actually a great name choice.
Oh no.
I know.
What a drag. In one scene featuring three very unconvincing men cosplaying the girls, it's described with the phrase, "What a drag!" Obviously a reference to drag shows in general. Mascu Max. Just after kicking out the Powerpuff Girls for being little girls and not manly enough to join the Justice Friends, the men are met by the villainous Mascu Max, who dares them to challenge his own masculinity and see if they measure up.
I feed off your expressions of manliness.
Watch out, guys. This guy's voiced by Clancy Brown, aka Mr. Krabs, so you know he means business when it comes to manliness. The mayor's conjugal visit. After Sedusa flirts with the mayor while disguised as Cerebellum, he decides to pay her a visit in prison, in quite a rush.
Visiting hours are almost over. Toodles.
His iconic perpetual wink only makes things more suggestive.
Hey, yo.
Those days are over. Speaking of which, the mayor was a freak, dude. In one scene where the Powerpuff Girls ask him for some money to buy the professor a gift, he turns them down, saying that the days of him being a sugar daddy are long gone.
Look, I'm no sugar daddy. Those days are over.
He's a freaky ass nigga!
Oh, and let's not forget the time Sedusa was said to have stolen the mayor's family jewels. And some of these! When the girls are helping the professor prepare for his date, Buttercup slips what she calls...
And some of these.
The implication being condoms. We're not sure which is more unsettling, that Buttercup even knows what condoms are, or that she knew exactly how to get some on such a short notice. Love is in the air. Speaking of dates, in one scene, Mojo Jojo is thrown into prison next to a big, burly man, with even the narrator saying, "Love is in the air."
Can't you just smell it?
Gee, I wonder what that dude was thrown into prison for.
He's a freaky ass
nigga! For
nigga!
Mojo Jojo in this instance. Fuzzy Lumpkin's ex-Professor Utonium. That's not even the only assault joke in the series either. In another episode, the professor gets taken in by a very enamored Fuzzy Lumpkins when he gets covered in mud. Later, he takes the mud off of him as a prize and does what we can only assume are unspeakable things to it behind closed doors.
Freaky frog!
When the girls bring their new friend Robin over for a visit, they introduce her to their dad, who literally made them in a lab by accident. Offering some comfort, Robert assures him that she herself was an accident too.
Don't worry, Professor. I was an accident too.
And the fact that she knows this is such a age is actually kind of depressing. Bellum's address. In one episode, Sarah Bellum's address is shown as 69 Yodelinda Valley. No, we're not placing this one here just for the number 69. Yodel in the valley is actually slang for going down on a woman. We're all learning today. The mayor's tastes. And if you still somehow aren't convinced that was fully intentional, there's one scene where the mayor literally licks a cat. He's licking a kitty. Look, that's as blatant as we can be without getting demonetized. Guys, you know exactly what we're saying. Santa's naughty list. In 'Twas the Fight Before Christmas, Santa's naughty list has a character named Adolf Schicklgruber on there. That last name is actually the last name of Adolf Hitler's grandmother. Evidently, the naughty list is forever, even after death. Dastardly Dick Hardley. We told you that we'd circle back to Dick Hardley, right? His evil scheme was making sentient clones of the Powerpuff Girls and selling them for profit. One customer was particularly pleased with his purchase.
I want 200 pounds with my Powerpuff.
That's great, man, but how did you... Oh no, jail, now, get this man in jail right now. Okay, now it's time to Ed, emphasis on Ed, on down to the cul-de-sac, Ed and Eddie. Eddie and Ed being children find Double D's astronomical instrument pretty darn funny. Wonder why. What's it called? Oh.
That's the sextant.
What's so funny about a sextant? It's just a tool that happens to be called a sextant. Jeez, guys. Bunny's multiplication expertise. Even the animals aren't totally safe from dirty jokes here. When Double D sees a massive quantity of bunnies, he remarks that Mr. and Mrs. Bunny must have been practicing their multiplication tables.
Freaky frog! You freaky frog! You a freaky frog!
Well-known rabbits are for having a lot of babies. The snow job. In one episode, Eddie's scheming to make some money off of the vast amounts of snow in the cul-de-sac during a wintry day. When called out by Double D, Eddie responds by asking, "What's winter without a snow job?"
Get it? Snow job?
Now, the term snow job can mean a con or some kind of deception, but given how dirty this show's jokes can get, we're gonna guess the fact that it rhymes with job is no mere coincidence. Eddie's secret stash. Eddie has a stash of dirty magazines under his bed. For obvious reasons, we don't know the contents, but considering they're surrounded with dirty tissues and have names like Jiggy Jiggy and Chicks, we can probably fill in the blanks. Birds, bees, and sweaty palms. In one scene, Double D finds a book presumably about puberty with the name Birds, Bees, and Sweaty Palms. Now, Birds and Bees is a polite nickname for the sex talk parents inevitably have with kids when they're old enough. The Sweaty Palms part isn't often part of the phrase, but it's definitely part of the event. Chicks galore. This would actually explain Eddie's disappointment when he finds a magazine of Double D's titled Chicks Galore, only to find it with pictures of actual baby chicks. Who's really got the better stash here? Please let go of my leg, Ed. When Ed is pretending to be a dog while Double D is on the phone, we can see the latter's face grow incredibly uncomfortable and irritated.
Please let go of my leg, Ed.
Anyone who's familiar with some dogs' habits of driving anything they can get their paws on knows exactly what's going on here. An interesting bathroom note. Man, there are a lot lot of self-pleasure jokes in this show, huh? In another scene, the bathroom has a note on the wall that simply reads, "Don't touch yourself." It's barely noticeable and not reasonably stopping anyone, but all that matters is that it's very much there. The old rubber glove treatment. Eddie quips to Ed and Double D when he finds the former wearing a reflector on his head, asking Double D if
Did Dr. Ed give you the rubber glove treatment yet?
obviously a cheeky reference to prostate exams adult men have to face. Side note, is it just me or does Ed seem to have a thing for Double D? Like, we aren't thinking too hard about it, we're just thinking a little bit about it. The bananas are crushing my apples. When a bunches of bananas topple down onto Rolf.
Wait up, the bananas are crushing Rolf's apples!
Now, there are 3 possible explanations here. 1, Rolf has apples on him literally all the time. 2, he's cheekily referring to his rear end. Or, most likely for the sake of this video, 3, he just has absolutely massive nuts and we're really concerned for him.
Thank you!
Heat strip. Finally, in one episode, Double D gives the neighborhood an impromptu striptease during a massive heat wave.
Who are you?
A heat stroke is pretty darn common, but a
He's
heat
a
stroke.
freaky ass
Have
nigga!
you no shame, Ed? He does have shame. I'm sorry, man. Whether your kids are geniuses or not, you do well to hide their eyes from these moments in Dexter's laboratory. Legalize pot, man. Dark. In the episode Mountain Mandark, Mandark's mother informs him that Mother Earth has a lovely variety of resources ripe for harvesting, while crouching down next to a plant that looks like
He won't be able to resist them.
Given their very strong hippie vibes, it's the furthest thing from a mere coincidence. IDKSC. When Dee Dee and Dexter are having a disagreement, Dee Dee says,
Your club is for big IDKSCs.
an anagram for, you can decipher that one. Dexter's joke. Dexter makes a joke about something with chemicals and stuff. Man, I don't know. I do know that the abbreviation for hydroxide is HO, meaning that the punchline translates to, that's no hoe.
That's my wife!
Good one, Dexter. It's usually funnier when you don't have to Google what it means, though. $50 extra. In one episode, Dexter finally gets sick enough of Dee Dee to hire a replacement sister, who just happens to be a busty blonde woman. When he asks her to dance, she tells him she will.
Oh, okay, but it's $50 extra.
He's a
One
freaky
can
ass
only
nigga!
assume that she's a stripper, which makes it all the more confusing just how Dexter came across her. A close call with drug lords. Dexter witnesses some unseen figures discussing their recent purchase of pure, uncut flour.
I can assure you it is 100% pure.
They're excited to roll in the dough, which either means they're gonna make a lot of bread with it, or they're about to start baking bad. Dad's trophy. Yeah, next entry. Labels. In the episode Labels, Dexter discovers the fun of sticking labels with his name on them all around to claim what's his. This includes the crotch area of one of Dee Dee's stuffed dolls. Dexter, come on, dude. I don't think it's gonna fit. In one scene, Dexter's parents are playing Twister, but before the camera pans out, all that's seen are some entangled limbs with the dialogue of Dexter's mother being,
Honey, I don't think that's gonna fit.
Just a little more,
Freaky frog! You freaky frog! You're a freaky
This
frog!
episode, in general, is one of the most infamous adult jokes we'll be talking about today. An initially banned episode of the series where Dexter creates a machine that removes rudeness from the human body. The rudeness in question manifests in foul-mouthed clones of Dexter and Dee Dee. Think the SpongeBob episode Sailor Mouth, but like actually uncensored. Hearing Dexter drop the F-bomb multiple times is absolutely surreal and really raises the question of how anyone thought this was going to get past the censors.
Yeah, we're gonna go up your lab.
Shout out to Dee Dee flipping off the audience in the title card, only being covered up by the classic TVY7 block. Oh wait, it's TV14 this time. This next section isn't for the faint of heart. It's time to talk Courage, the Cowardly Dog. You know this, Eustace. In one episode, Eustace is asked by a loudspeaker what 414 divided by 6 is.
414 divided by 6.
It's 69. We could call it a
Freaky
coincidence,
frog!
but come on, there's just no way something that specific is just a coincidence. You had literally infinite numbers to choose from. Don't push that button again, Courage. When Muriel and Courage are checking out their computer, she presses a button that pulls up some naughty material and, given Courage's embarrassed, protective reaction,
He's a freaky ass nigga!
it's clear that he's at least somewhat familiar with it. What's not familiar is why the computer straight up asked him to press it again. Muriel's strange conclusion. After being chained up over a pot of lava in the episode Ball of Revenge, Muriel observes that this must be one of those
Naughty men's clubs, isn't it?
I'm
He's
really
a
worried about
freaky
him.
ass
Why
nigga!
did anyone even let this show air? While not dirty in the sense of others on this list, it's nothing short of an absolute wonder how Courage was allowed to get away with some of the most weirdly disturbing visuals in cartoon history. From the infamous Spirit of the Harvest Moon and King Ramses to lesser sung terrors like that one weird claymation violin girl, even to the very last episode having that infamous "You're Not Perfect" scene. And unlike the show, I'll warn you, there's a horrifying blue fetus face creature guy. I don't know what the hell he is, but he's about to appear on the screen. Courage was not a coward. He had every right to be horrified at the never-ending horrors he had to experience. So props to him. We now move on to the classic wild gross out fest that is Ren and Stimpy. I mean, cow and chicken. How did Mama have a chicken and a cow? The theme song says,
Mama had a cow.
So, sir, your wife at least 2 farm animals. She took a bull by the horns and made a rooster crow. Are you really gonna sit there and not only let her do that, but open the floodgates of so many potential insults? Because we've got more. This video's just not long enough for all of them. It would be an honor to squirt for you. Being a cow, it's natural that cow would be of interest to a professor of milk. Though, the way she phrases her excitement, paired with the genuinely unsettling way said Dr. Eyeballs the audience,
it would be an honor to squirt for you,
is proof that the writers knew
Who's a freaky ass
they
nigga?
were from smooth with this one. Cow's utterly fascinating habits. Cow is also seen constantly playing with her udders.
My name is Cow, and these are my others.
This show was, man, this show, this
Who's a
was a show,
freaky
that
ass
much is
nigga?
certain.
Oh, you know it, baby. Ooh, let me have it. Let me have it.
The red gay, I mean, guy. The red guy is the closest thing the show has to a consistent antagonist, and he's basically a walking gay stereotype. Frankly, we're not sure if today's culture would like him way more or way less. We have no idea. All we do know is that his bright, shiny, red ass has been etched deep into the subconscious of everyone who grew up back in the 90s.
There's a lot of sick people in this town.
In any case, though, the guy is a freak. He's constantly showing off his butt. In one episode, he cosplays as Cleo Pantalus and announces a sale on himself in the middle of a grocery store.
Please, I am not a piece of meat.
There's absolutely zero shame here, and honestly, we have to respect that, if nothing else. The Carpet Munchers. In another band episode, a group of lesbian biker stereotypes called the Buffalo Girls come around town. They break into people's homes so they can, and I'm not making this up, chew on their carpets. They also play softball and talk about pitching and catching. Take all the time you need to fix your hair before this next section. Johnny Bravo will understand. The 19th Amendment. While at an exhibit about the 19th Amendment, which gave women the right to vote, Johnny is immediately confused as to why they were given this right.
I didn't think chicks liked to vote.
He just genuinely doesn't know why women actually want to vote. Dirty magazines. While not as many as an Ed, Ed and Eddie, Johnny Bravo does have its fair share of dirty magazine references.
Oh, mama!
In one episode, after being told he has 6 seconds of consciousness left, he pulls out a magazine with a trifold page and a scantily clad woman. Also notable is the time a little girl exposed him for looking at a fitness magazine full of almost naked men.
He's looking at pictures of almost naked men!
Mind your business,
He's
kid.
a freaky ass
The
nigga.
sensitivity song. When a man tries to teach Johnny to be more sensitive, he puts on a musical number to make things easier.
Show that girl you really
I remember this
You might
episode.
think-
That episode was blatant as fuck. That episode was blatant as fuck.
Who's a freaky ass nigga? Who's a freaky ass nigga? Freaky
frog.
Who's a freaky ass
You
nigga?
freaky
You a freaky ass nigga? Who's 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 a freaky ass nigga?
That episode was blatant as fuck.
Oh, wow, they referenced the word damn. And you'd be wrong, he literally gives a woman the D. Call me in 15 years. When little Susie invites Johnny to her birthday party, his mind automatically goes to the worst possible place and essentially tells this very small child,
I am busy. Call me in 15 years when you're a
Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo.
Sarah Fawcett is attending the party as well. While playing pin the tail on the donkey, she reflects on the last time she was blindfolded, and her reaction is enough to convince us it's not exactly childhood birthday party appropriate.
I can't remember the last time I was blindfolded. Oh, wait. Yes, I can.
BDSM.
Who's a freaky
In one
ass
episode,
nigga?
Johnny is strapped down to a table by a woman who he declares his mama warned him about.
Mama warned me about women like you. I was hoping she was right.
Swing and a miss for Daphne. In the episode where Johnny meets
Who's
the
a
mystery
freaky
gang
ass
from
nigga?
Scooby-Doo, he's instantly interested in Daphne.
Want to get lost with me?
But a suggestive eye roll from Fred cements that she's got other plans elsewhere. Cheer up, Johnny. You could always go for Velma or Shaggy. Thwarted
Hey,
virgin
yo.
sacrifice.
Who's a freaky
After being
ass
kidnapped
nigga?
by some Amazonian women who
Oh,
attempt to
yeah,
offer him
yeah,
as a
yeah.
virgin
This
sacrifice in their
the
volcano,
this the
Johnny
first
is
episode.
promptly spit out, proving that he's definitely got his V card stamped out plenty off screen. Oh, also notable, he lands on the island of beautiful men
I can already tell you're going to feel right at home here.
who seem very
Hey,
happy
yo,
that he's
hey,
placed
yo,
into his
hey,
presence.
yo.
The troubled teen hotline. Strangely, this isn't the first time we've discussed a phone hotline in these adult joke videos, but it's the first time anyone's taken a troubled teen girl talking about her breakup and turning it into...
Your boyfriend left you? Well, what are you wearing?
I am
Who's a
Weasel is
freaky
up
ass
next,
nigga?
and there's no weaseling out of it. Wait, is that offensive to them? Weasel affair.
I am
In one
Weasel.
episode, Weasel is encouraging his crew to complete a bridge they've been working on for ages. One excitedly remarks that he can't wait to see his child, who was born
2 years after I started this job.
Unfortunately, it looks like his wife was buying some commissions while he was away. Sorry, dude. Cleopantless. Oh yeah, back to the whole Cleopantless thing from earlier. Enjoy this absolute masterpiece.
I had no idea the asp problem was this big.
There. Now the
Who's
red
a
guy
freaky
bright red
ass
ass will be
nigga?
ingrained into Gen Z's subconscious too. Mission accomplished.
Alrighty, man. This is some freaky ass shit, man. But most definitely, that Johnny Bravo episode was blatant as fuck. I do remember that. I actually got Johnny Bravo entire series on my laptop. So yeah, that episode was fucking blatant. That episode, and I wouldn't say Ed and Eddie was definitely very sexual ish with a lot of the stuff they said. Dexter's Laboratory was by far the most egregious, though. That's the one thing I will say. By far, Dexter's Laboratory was the most egregious. But anyways, though, that's just go about doing for this one. I'll see y'all in the next video. Till then, peace out.